it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here, and today is Comic Book Thursday, and we are going to be talking about the first 3 issues of Prez and Thors number 3. Let's start with Thors. This Thors is definitely really good. Yeah. They've definitely been even you couldn't really notice in the first 2 issues, but you could really notice in this issue how much it's changed and improved since the first one.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm surprised how much I'm actually surprised this is in both comic books that we have today, how much a comic book can change and get better within 3 issues. Yeah,
I know. Like I said, I thought it was 4th episode. It seems like more's happened than that.
Yeah.
And it's our buddy Jason Aaron wrote that one. Right? The guy that writes a bunch of the stuff that we like. So yes. I'm not surprised that it's really good. But it continues all the cop tropes in the Thor world, which is really awesome. You want to say what your favorite one this time was?
Yes, my favorite. Like this is one of my favorite lines of the entire Thor's thing. Good Thor and bad Thor.
Yeah. So they capture Loki and they're interrogating him, and the Thor that is interrogating him says, if I have to leave, then I bet the next Thor that comes in won't be as nice as I am. And so Loki says, oh, so we're already playing good Thor, bad Thor. Really funny. Yes. And then they also, the Thor that's interrogating him, when he sees it's not going anywhere, he finally goes, okay, you know, you got me. Look, you're way smarter than I am. And, like, I'm actually kind of jealous of how you were able to pull this off. And, like, I really just want to know how you did it. Like, I got mad respect for what you did. And, like, I just want to know, can you just tell me what happened and how you did it and kind of stuff. And so that's very cop showy when the guys are kind of acting. I was telling Presley it always ends up, like, when on a cop show, especially when a guy like murders his wife or his girlfriend on one of the cop shows, and it always has like the male cop makes the woman cop leave, and then he's like, look, I get you, I know why you would do that, I want to do the same thing sometimes, and like I just want to let you know, one man to another, that it'll be a good job, blah blah blah. And then the guy will be like, oh, thank God, I'm glad you understand, she was driving me crazy. And then he's like, I got you, I tricked you, right? So that's very cop showy, like that's every other CSI episode, really. No matter what city they're in. So it was very funny to see them do that in Thors, and kind of like it's so well written. I mean, it's so good to read this and see all these tropes. And there's even more. Like those are the big ones that jumped out this episode, but or this issue. But yeah, really good.
And one of my things that I kind of like in a couple of the pictures, Thor and Loki's eyes are way too big, or like a bit big, so it looks very animated.
Yeah, that's really cool. And like Loki, you can see Loki here, he's kind of like a homeless guy in this one, and they bring him in, and he's playing games with a detective, which is very cop showy as well. But the way that Loki looks in this is really cool. I like his look a lot. Yeah, I like the look of it, I like the art, I like the story. I mean, everything is just, it's such a good, this is one of my favorite Secret Wars Battle World comics by far. Right? I
really like Loki's hat. I want it.
Yeah, his little knit hat is pretty cool too. We'll get a good picture of that. It's got his little horns on it.
And it has cats.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, definitely, if you're not reading these, go get them. Like, you can still definitely get all 3 issues, and it's so good. Oh yeah, and Throg is back. The Frog Thor. He came back, and in the beginning, he's called the Frog of Thunder.
The Frog of Thunder, yes.
It's pretty awesome. I don't know, it's such a good book. All right, let's talk about Prez for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I want to. The reason I'm here this week is because of Prez. This is like this teenage girl becomes president, and this is what, 2036? Is that when we saw it was? Or something like 2036, and some of the rules have changed. And like I looked at the first issue when it came out a couple of months ago, and I wasn't really blown away by it. But some of the reviewers that I trust had been talking about how much better it's gotten, so I picked up all 3 issues this week, and it has gotten a lot better. And it's very timely, obviously, because we're in election season and there's all this stuff going on, and Presley and I got to sit down and talk about the election, but it's very much about how like corporate interests are running the campaign. All of the representatives want to get something out of the candidates, and so they're trying to get the candidates to give them stuff like NASA, like the guy from Colorado. They promised to move NASA from Texas to Colorado to get his vote, and then Texas gets all mad, and so they promise the other guy promises 2 NASAs to Texas, which is kind of funny, and a shark aquarium, and like they make all these promises, and so all of these representatives are voting for this this teenage girl who became like a YouTube sensation. Why did she become a YouTube sensation?
Because they were supposed to be shooting this training video, and she ended up sticking her hair in the deep fryer.
And so it became a viral video, and she became known as Corn Dog Girl. That's actually who they're voting for through most of the thing is Corn Dog Girl, which is really funny. But then so all these senators start voting, or representatives start voting for Corn Dog Girl, just as like a joke, or not a joke, but just so that the others, the people running for president will have to give them stuff to change their vote. And then it just so kind of accidentally enough of them end up voting for Corn Dog Girl that she wins. Like all of the things that are happening in the presidential election are in here, but like exaggerated, but not as much as you might think, right? All the companies have like animal mascots kind of.
And they're like digital holograms.
Yeah, they're like avatars kind of. Like the CEO has like this hologram that projects on his head that is the corporate logo.
Yeah, and I really, really liked the way they did that, because they were, the opacity was slightly lowered, so you could still kind of see the face.
You could tell there was a face behind it, yeah. So my favorite company, though, was the drug company, and it was called Pharmaduke.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a big Great Dane with a syringe in his mouth. It's really, it's clever. Like, it has become a very clever thing, and it lets me have a really good conversation with Presley about the election cycle and what's going on, and for the next year and a half that we're going to have to deal with this stuff. And there was something in here about the Corporate Personhood Act, which is, goes back to sort of the decision Citizens United about corporations being people and having First Amendment rights and stuff like that. So we got to talk a little bit about those things. Cool? All right, that's it.
So yeah, thank you for watching, and bye!
Bye, guys.